Hello and welcome to the channel. The unfortunate thing is you should have had this video today already, but when I recorded this I forgot to actually click go on the camera. So all we've got is sound, unfortunately. However, to rectify that, let me tell you what we've got. This is the R8 4.207. It's one of the cars that doesn't really feature in the race heavily because you only see it at the start. And I thought this was going to be slow. It's cost me around about the winnings from one race in development costs to get this thing tuned up. I've had to put two engines in it. I've loaded all of the add-ons, then put a new engine in it because it just doesn't work. So I've decided to go with this one. 602 brake horsepower. It's got very few add-ons in terms of engine parts because I don't find there's a reasonable way to actually counteract the over PP it gives us. So anyway, let's have a look at the setup and see where we go. Sports hard tyres, as you can see there, PP is 599.95. We're running the suspension as fully customisable, no adjustments. Differentials fully customisable. This is a four-wheel drive monster, so we've got the torque vectoring centre diff applied, and it's currently set at 3565. You can play with that for feel and for also tyre wear if you want to. We're planning on doing a one-stop, so with that being the case, tyre wear really isn't a factor. I think you need to definitely change the tyres halfway. It costs you a little bit more, a few seconds, but you're going to have to stop for a full tank of gas anyway, the way this car moves, so it doesn't really matter. Let's talk about front splitter, side skirts, no rear valance, rear wing set to high with 20 end plates, wheels are widened. Downforce. Now, we haven't really compromised downforce. We've tuned the front end to get as much downforce as possible. This car likes to wash out entering a corner. It doesn't accelerate very well out of it. So we've given it as much front as we can, and we've tuned the down at the rear just to balance the PP to as high as we can get it. ECU is fully customizable, set to 100. We've got no extra ballast, and we've got the power restrictor unaffected at 100. Fully customizable manual transmission. You ask why I use the manual over the racing. Well, this dropped the PP, the racing didn't, so it gave me more room to play with other factors. The top speed's automatically adjusted, is set to 320. So it gives us the full speed down the straight. We are a little bit fuel heavy, so we're going to have to coast a few corners just to stretch the fuel to get us to halfway into the end of the race. But not too much. It's not going to affect your race greatly. So high RPM turbocharger, racing intercooler, air cleaner, silencer, exhaust manifold, all racing, brake system racing with brake pads racing, brake controller. We've left that to the middle because it's four-wheel drive car. We're going to even out the tyre wear that way. Any of you know I don't use the brake balance to tune feel. I've used brake balance to even out wear on the tyres. Clutch and flywheel racing, carbon prop shaft, and we've got increased body rigidity. Settings for assists, traction control 1, default ABS, nothing else on. We are going to run this manual as well, as we always do. And controller settings, we're on a wheel, it's a G29, we're using open button configuration. Max torque feedback is 5 and forward feedback sensitivity 6. So, the R8, shall we see how she goes? I don't hold much out for this, but it's a right mover. There's the brake balance, there's the sitting, and there's the setting on the diff. So we're good. Watch the fuel. Let's see how she drives. So Mr. Gentry in last place. We've got Mr. Hayward's car to do next. That's Mr. Grady. He's our teammate for today. And we're coming up on. We're going past Mr. Konomos, Mr. Yamanaka. We've got Mr. Beauvoir car to do and Mr. Miyazana. Now we've got to brake early because this thing takes a while to stop. So we've not done Mr. Beauvoir's car yet, and the car behind us, Mr. Miyazano. Oh, we've slid out. That's never fun, and that's what this car tends to do. If you hit the wet, she doesn't like to turn. Looking at the fuel, we're down to 5.3. Just got to lift the throttle and coast a few corners and get her back up to somewhere around 5.5. Got past the Supra there with a lift off the brakes. 5.7 is good at this point. I'd like to cross the start finish line with something like 5.4. That would be ideal. We're in 8th place. Gonna have to go around the outside. We haven't done Mr. Beauvoir yet. That AMG GT is absolutely divine, but I can't hear that over the engine of this R8, which is also pretty awesome. She's just washed out there. Loads of turn on the front wheel, very little wear on the tyres, look. Gonna brake just after the 200. Try and block the Mr. Beauvoir from the apex. We got ahead of the Supra, so chasing down Mr. Blazen in 6th place. No, he's in 5th, we're in 6th, happy days, 8.7 seconds off the lead. We've been further up the field in other cars, but we've also been further back, so she's pretty average, I'd say, for a first lap. There's 5.1 coming across the line, so we are going to have to manage our fuel. 185 going across the line though, that's pretty impressive. 193 coming out the tunnel, 195 at the top of the hill, that's up there with the fast movers. So we're gaining on Mr. Suswillow. We're going to brake early, just lift and brake. We really need to manage the fuel a bit, so if we can clip up a gear and save the acceleration. Short shifting a bit. We'll save the fastest laps to later. Let's just try and do that little bit more to get race position. The two boys in front racing side by side, which is going to slow them down. Gives us the chance to catch up a bit. We'd really like two very smooth and easy passes, and there's one of them. Past the Impreza. We're up on time. This will take us to a 2:12 if we carry on. Nice line through there. She's actually a very stable car. I'm not going to knock it. It is quite a mover for a basic tune as well. But I've done all the messing around, so I know how much it's cost me. And if you want more high power, all you're going to have to deal with is a bigger fuel usage, because it's a thirsty beast. 9 seconds quicker, so this could be a 2:11 if we play our cards right. We're in 4th place in the draft of Mr. Suswillow. Let's pop out the nose. Let's change up to 6th. Is he going to tap us? No, he's not. Let's drop in front of him. 180 across the line. 2:10.8. Now that is a pretty decent lap. Second lap. 66% of fuel remaining. 4.2 as we cross the line. We're down to 4.0. Mr. Gallo is there, just 4 seconds ahead. We're going to lift, get some of that fuel back, and then we're going to brake just before the pedals. Take the twitch. So just being a bit casual. We're not really losing time. Just got to make sure we've got enough fuel to do that full set of 6 laps. Quite nervous about it. Need to be quite cautious on the fuel usage. See if she slides through here nicely. We just bounced off the apex, but no real erosion of speed. Just on the brakes, use 4th gear around it, back on the gas. That'll save us some fuel. Look at those tyres are now starting to wear. Bounced off the apex again. We're just overcorrecting as we enter the corner. See if we can go across this line. 2.2 seconds behind Mr. Gallo. I haven't seen where we are in terms of purple or red yet. We'll get a first noticed indicator as we go across here. Quarter of a second up, third of a second up, so there'll be a 2:10.5. But we don't have the draft that we had last time. So Gallo leads out, 2.3 seconds in the lead. But that's us, Widdowmaker, 2.1 seconds back now. Sus Willow is 2.1 seconds behind us. It's a 10.5. That's a decent time. We're still improving because we're coasting into corners. We're saving fuel. We went across the line at 3.2, so we've got to continue to fuel save. We could also fuel save by dropping the fuel map and trying to run it as fast as we can. We got to the line there just a little bit slower than it did last time. But we're doing the right thing with fuel saving. 1.9 seconds behind, but Suswillow's maintaining that gap as well. It's fairly even down to 4th place if you look on the overhead on the map. The front end's washed out on me. I'm just trying to save that. There we go. We should save fuel around there big time because we weren't under power. Now we'll make up that difference here. 1.7, 1.6. Down to 0.9. Now Mr. Gallo pits early because he's on the softer tyre. But it looks like we have the faster car. And this is very, very capable. Of all the cars we've tried, I wouldn't say it's my favourite. Definitely within the top 10. Handling wise, top 5 maybe. Fuel consumption, bottom of the pile. It's pretty rank on fuel. Mr. Gallo's just decided to brake a lot later into this corner. Never noticed before, but Mr. Gallo's got actually some decals on his car, hasn't he? Mobile One sponsors. So here we are in the draft. This could be, I forgot to look to see where we were, but this could be a pretty useful lap as we flick out from behind him. See where we are. 184, 210.7. So still consistent 210s, and the fuel is definitely on par. We are lap 5. We're pretty much going with the tyres, but I think they're going to wear more as we start to push the car. I wonder if she's going to be good enough to get the fastest lap. I think if we did a little bit of fuel map saving in the second stint, and then over the last 3 laps we really pushed to try and hit him with the lesser fuel weight, we could probably go for a 209. Because we haven't really had a pure clean lap yet. 1.7 laps remaining. This would have been the lap to actually put that faster lap in. That was absolutely inch perfect corner in there. And I don't know whether in a left or right hand drive car. I know we're central on the bonnet, so it doesn't really matter about the left or right hand drive, but I would guess it would make a difference on weight distribution, which would probably affect why I find right hand corners easier than left hand. Probably. We're 3.4 seconds now ahead of Gallo, and we expect Gallo to go to the pits. We've got 1.4 laps of fuel in the tank, and we're quarter of a second up. So this could be a 2:10.2. This was the lap to try it, he said, and it actually looks like we're making good time on the lesser fuel weight, but we have to pit at the end of this lap. So No point doing it this lap. 2:10.3. So we lost a little bit because we didn't have the draft. Gallo's actually gone to the pits. We were 5.5 seconds ahead. How far back to Suswillow? He's 10.6, so a further 5 seconds back. Cookabun stays out as well. We braked a little bit later because we know we're good for fuel, so we'll hit this pretty hard. But we know we've got a short run to the flag as well, haven't we? To the pit entry. 11.6 seconds in the lead. We hit the rev cut. Need to be aware of that. Need to be careful. We are going to change tyres. I don't think they want to last the next. Look how fast we are there. 8.8 of a second up. That's definitely a 209. And that's a 209 mid. So Gallo, Suswillow and Cookabun are capable of low 209s. Is this car capable of a 208? Well, what we're going to attempt to do is we're going to attempt to... Oh, still half a second up, even though we've had not such a clean lap. I actually did a double gear change back there, which should have slowed us down loads. We had a hit a rev cut as well, didn't we? But here we go. Where's the positioning? We're ahead of Suswillow, Cookman in 3rd, Fraga 4th, Hizal 5th, Boudoir 6th, on the brakes, Blazan in 7th, Miazano in 8th. We're going to the pits, don't forget. We're purple by 2/3 of a second, so that's a 209.7 if we were to cross the line. We're good on fuel. We're going to take tyres. And we're going to take all the fuel. So we're going to be stationary. We're going to drop down to probably 7th or 8th position. Take the hards. We're going to refuel totally. Bear with me 1 second. Yeah, big old tyres he's putting on. So we were 18 odd seconds in the lead. So Swillow's now closing down and he's going to pass us now. Cookabun's going to do the same, or is Cookabun going to come in? Cookabun came to the pits, he's on softs. We're going to get out in front of him. Fraga's now going to go past. There we go, almost the 6.2 of fuel that we like to take. We come out in 6th place. Miazano is gaining on us. We're some 17 points behind the leader, 17 seconds behind the leader. We're going to attempt to brake a little bit later into this final corner because we're going to be a few mile an hour slower than the normal lap arrival. But we're not going to absolutely rip the early laps. We're going to just make sure we get past all these boys and girls so we're in the lead after they pit, because everybody in front of us should need to pit, should need to head to a new set of tyres, new set of boots and fuel. And we can't set fastest laps on the out lap. 17.2 seconds behind. A car with better fuel economy is always going to be the optimal car here, because any time stationary is time lost. You know that by now. What I'm also hoping is, if you are following this series and you're buying the car or you're tuning the car as well, along with what I do, taking my tune on board, I hope you're learning and seeing the patterns that we've started to develop with the cars. Basic tuning of the parts. I've not found you've had to do much suspension tuning. The cars are perfectly drivable. We're not going to take these cars and go online and race anybody else. We're purely racing for the grind, so that should be minimal setup time. So using basic parts is the way to go, and beating the time. So whilst we're talking about that, where do you think this car's going to be for a 27 or 26? Here we go, they've all gone to the pits. We're razzing past. and we're going to take up the lead. How far in the lead do you think we're going to be? Is it going to be Gallo that comes through? Miazano's actually gone to the pit, so there's Gallo. He's 6.6 seconds behind us, and he's got a pit again. So if we can just bust out this league as we hit 200 mile an hour, if we can just continue with this league, just keep building it. He's got to stop, and he won't be a serious threat to our attempts at this. I genuinely think this car should be able to do a 26. I think it will be capable of a 209. I think 208 is probably a little bit out of its reach. If we can get this car to flow and we can coast some of the corners so that we just keep the momentum going, get the power on, don't excessively rag the gears, just keep it flowing. There we go, 3/4 of a second up. Hit the numbers, follow the racing line, and if you are using the racing line to this power to your elbow, it's there to be used. It's not something I use. So 6.4 seconds ahead. We're going for a 209 this lap. That's what we want to put in. We were supposed to be fuel saving, but I was also trying to save fuel as well, so probably lost a little bit there. No, we've gained another 10th. So this could be a 209.5, a 209.4 maybe. We've got no slipstream. Fuel is looking a little bit suspect. We probably need to just back off the fuel a little bit. So let's coast into the final corner. There's a 209.4. Call it a 209.5 near us, damn it. But a 209.5, we're heading for a 26-minute race. A 26.58, 26.57 would be my call at this point, which puts it into the capable car class and an enjoyable grind class as well. It certainly becomes one of those cars you can take to the track. It is one of those that is it's not unfriendly, it's not undrivable, it's just it needs you to play with the gears. It's quick enough so we don't have to race the AI so much. We've had a little bit of a do. Gallo sticking with us, look, 6.7. And I've just noticed he's set a 209.041. So as luck would have it, we're in a position now where we need to hit a 208. Look at that. A very low 209 on a 208. So Gallo is actually treating us to a bit of a race. He wants us to put the power down. We've got 3.6 laps of fuel at this point. We are in the purple. So is this going to be a 208 without really trying, just by being, and that's probably blown it, just by being free and smooth, I thought. No, we're going to get lighter on fuel, so let's brake just a fraction later into here. Saw how we come off there. We just scrubbed the speed off as we entered the apex on the first corner. We're outside by half a second, so a little bit of missed time in there, but we need to beat this time, our previous time, by half a second. So should we try that this lap? Because if we don't bust it this lap, we're really going to be in trouble with fuel. So let's give it a go. 0.4 down. That was a 209.892. That's not our fastest lap. We've got to go about 0.8 of a second quicker. There goes Gallo to the pits. So he's going to try and claim that extra point there for that race. As we dive into this first corner. We're going to give this the beans and See what she can do. 5th gear to pull it through. Please be purple. There we are. We had to slide the car then. No curb strikes. We need to be quick. Now we need a perfect entry to this fast right-hander. No curb clipping. Keep it straight. There we go. We just brushed the curb. We didn't scrub a massive amount. We touched the brakes a bit more. We're in by a significant amount of a second. Now we need to get this second apex right, don't we? Because we blew it last time. It feels good. We're 21 seconds ahead of Mr. Cookabun. And we're hoping to put in a 2:08. Let's see if we can turn this corner really, really quickly. And get the car straighter than we have been. There we go. Not such a long line around the corner. Let's hope we cross that. We've not got the fastest lap, but we're faster than our previous lap. That is incredibly close. So Gallo was exceptionally quick round that last segment. There's a 2:08, 8:48. There she is. She is capable of a 2:08. That puts her in definitely the top 5 or 6 that we've used at this track. It's a stunning car. Fuel's looking good. Tyres are looking good. Let's try and go for one more lap. Let's see what we can do. Brake on the corner of that white line. As she sheds the fuel. I call her a she. I don't think it is a she. It's far too an aggressive a car to be a lady. Mr. Solis and Mr. Yamanaka go to the pits, but we go and put in another faster time. A little bit squirrely there as we came through. Let's just put the power down. A little bit of a clip. We're 0.154 up. That's tremendous. See if we can negotiate these 2 corners and then the final one a bit quicker to try and set a faster lap time. .175 will brake at. And then we just release a bit, then press the brakes again. Let's make a turn quicker, bit of throttle. We're going to try and take this fastest lap away from Gallo and put it away from him. We've maintained that gap. We're going to go on to the final lap and I'm going to run for the line. I'm not going to coast. I'm not going to save any fuel at all. I'm going to go for it. And if we run out just before the lap, that's where we are. There we go, a 2:08, 6:49. Is there a 2:07 possible in this car today? Is it going to let us have one? 29 seconds in the lead. There is the potential for a 26-minute lap. It's there. As the boy from Blur says, we slid into that corner. 29.8 seconds in the lead, and it's climbing. Mr. Cookabun leading out Mr. Suswillow. Are we going to go purple? Yes, we are. Is it fast enough to go to a 2:07? She's actually predicted, and she's 4-wheel sliding now. Thread the needle. Might not have done it there. 3rd gear. No touchy on the Kirby. Half a second up. That's very close. 33 seconds up, and there is Mr. Gentry for a potential lap in. We're not going to catch him, I really don't think so. Really going to have to stand on the brakes here to get it to stop. We braked a lot later than we should have on the power. We're not going to catch Mr. Gentry, but it's almost a lap in session. We're up by 4.22. It's not going to be a 2.07. That's unlucky, but a low 2.08. And we could run out of fuel before we cross the line. 35 seconds in the lead. Cookabun behind us in second. Suswillow third. Gallo fourth. Fraga fifth. Blazen sixth. Beauvoir seventh. Hizal 8th. And we finish. And I didn't look at the time in the bottom left-hand corner. That is a decent car. A good race and a good challenge. I reckon there's a 2.07 in that car. Pretty much, definitely. What do you think? Give it a try. Put that setup on. Even have a go if you want to. Adding those engine parts yourself, building up the brake horsepower and coming back to it. A 26.55, a 2.08.269, that fastest lap at the end, and we were somewhat. If we say that was 2.08.213, that tells me we've lapped him. That can't be right. Oh no, it wouldn't be. He was past the line in front of us. His last lap was slower. That's what it would be. But potentially he was a lap down. But there she is. There we have it. What an absolutely excellent race. We've only got one thing to find out. Clean race bonus. Every tick in the box for this car. This would be a really enjoyable grinder. But that's up to you. Go and try it. See what you think. Let me know. Great to have you with us. We'll see you on the next one, folks. All the best. Take care. And you can see how much I spent on parts. Holy heck. Are we going to get a ticket? No, we got the ticket last night, didn't we? When we forgot to save this blooming race. There we have it.